Commissioner Storch, I think you're okay. It's 7.
What's that tonight?
It's 7, and yeah, all of them are, all your members are here.
Okay, I was, yeah, I was seeing 6:58, but that's okay. I'm going to call the Wednesday, January 6th, Finance and Budget Committee meeting to order. We've got myself, John Reardon, Jeffrey Fortune, Commissioner Minkins, Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher, Commissioner Amy Thatcher, Commissioner Josh O'Neill, Finance Budget Director Danette Gleason here tonight with us. I haven't done this for a while. Whoop. So I haven't been on the finance and budget in about several years, 4 years at least. So anyways, I think everybody has gotten a chance to look at the Wednesday, January 6th, or excuse me, Tuesday, January 5th expenditure report. Pretty much, as you guys were probably told, or probably you went through some training on Monday, from what I understand. Pretty much all we do, we review the expenditure list, and we're auditing the expenditures are, the kind of just being followed, unless there's something real glaring. We really don't have that executive authority to question every little expenditure. But it's something, if there's something that really looks way out of line, finance and budget director, somebody, they're very good about letting us know or helping us out. So, and then typically, we've been trained, you can, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go around just going to go around the table, probably alphabetically order, and ask if anybody has any questions of the finance budget director. So I'm doing that. I'm going to start with Justin Fortune. Justin, do you have anything that you really want to have to, or Dan Gleason or anybody else to answer for you?
I don't think so. Nothing looked out of line to me, so I think we're fine.
Commissioner Sorg, it looks like we lost Commissioner Fisher.
Okay, I don't see him.
He was on.
Oh, was he? All right, well, I'm just gonna keep going around the table, and then when it gets back on, he can ask.
Okay.
Commissioner O'Neill, do you have anything that you want you're burning desire to know?
Thank you, Chairman Storch. I do actually have a question. Page 48 on the Duval Fund LLC. So probably 2 cop cars, or whatever. I'm always going to complain about when we buy vehicles out of town. So forgive me and just ward. I'm always gonna. I know there's a process, but just where's Duval Ford at? And thank you, Danette.
Chairman Sorg, Commissioner O'Neill, I'm going to pull the claim, but as you know, and we've talked about this before, when we buy police cars, we're usually buying them under the state bid process. And so Duval Ford was the winner underneath the state bid procurement process for the law enforcement vehicles. But I think this might be Townsend, but I got to pull it really quick. I don't know if that's where their corporate is or...
Is everybody on mute by chance?
I think that's our problem. Commissioner Sorch, Commissioner O'Neill, their corporate office though is in Florida, but they bid underneath the state procurement. And I believe sometimes these ones come out of Townsend.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll remember that next time. Vanessa.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's
I
always
still
good
don't
to
like
ask.
it.
I know.
I apologize. I don't like it. I still don't.
I know. I understand.
I know it's the law, but it's still it's terrible. It's not cool. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Commissioner Reardon, do you have anything that you really want to find out? You're on mute, John. You're still on mute, John. Can't hear you.
He's having some trouble, but he's figuring it out.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. In the review, I was just really impressed with the way that the budget director had these set up, where and the reference points to them, and how easy it actually was to find out in the review what was going on with each different department. So I learned a lot in just reviewing last week's payroll and payout from the county. Thanks.
Did you get unmuted?
Yeah, now it looks like everybody else is muted on my computer.
Everybody should be except for the person.
He's Kathy, he's unmuted and Sorch is having problems.
Okay,
Okay, unmute him.
nothing else right now, John? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Commissioner Thatcher, do you have anything any claims you questions about?
No, just kind of echoing Commissioner Reardon's sentiments. It was very well organized, so kudos to you, Danette, and your department. And mostly, no, I just tonight kind of want to just get my feet wet and maybe learn a little bit before I jump right into something. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't see Commissioner Fisher back yet. So Danette, I had a couple claims that I had questions on. I had claim number 4727, $10,000 on the airport statute to the chamber. Is that something that we all threw in 10,000, or that everybody threw in 10,000 for, or what was that?
So Commissioner Sorch, this was a claim that the Chief Executive Palmer, former Chief Executive Palmer, had agreed to spending some funds out of his discretionary budget. And we actually got the invoice just the end of December. I wasn't even really familiar. And then he sent it in to us, and we had locomotive repairs at the Civic Center. So it's not just for statues, and then it's for the airplane restoration project at the airport. So it's split between two projects that the former chief executive had already committed to. And we kind of just missed getting the invoice in earlier in the year. So these were commitments and projects that he had worked on with his funding.
Great, thanks. And then I have one more question on claim number 4698. It's a DNRC grant reimbursement for the Minor Museum for $103,000. Could you just explain that a little bit, Danette?
Sure. So many times, for the new commissioner's benefit, just to explain this, we're often pass through for a lot of the nonprofits here in town. This is kind of a similar example. However, a lot of the World Museum of Mining, as far as the land and the structures, are Butte-Silver owned and insured. And so it was a grant that, with the assistance of Julia Crane, was passed through. Actually, I think we received this maybe 2 years ago and just kind of got the work finished. We're actually paying the invoices direct. And then, well, the World Museum pays the invoices direct, and then we pass through the funding to them. But they have to show that the work's been completed. So the invoice in front of us, they're signing off, telling us that the payout to Markovich Construction was met. The engineering services with wet engineering services, there's 2 invoices for that this is covering as well. There's about $23,000 left on this grant. So you would have seen some of the original grant documentation that came through council. And like I said, I believe this one's about 2 years old.
Thank you, Jeanette. Commissioner Makins, do you got anything you want to add or share?
Thank you, Chairman Sorich. I do not. I'm just sitting in on this. I usually just sit in on it. I don't have the expenditure list, so maybe in the prior that it can be sent to me, seeing that I usually do just come in and sit in and listen. So thank you.
I think we could probably arrange that, to have you added right to the direct email.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sorge, I think it went to everybody.
Oh, it did. Okay, I'm not sure.
I need to look really quick, but I just want to make sure we don't have something set up wrong.
Okay.
It usually goes to all commissioners. The expenditure list does. We did, with the changing in names in the email group, we might have had an issue, but.
There's Commissioner Fisher. You're on mute, Jim.
So Commissioner Mackins, I'm sorry about that. It looks like you're the only one missed. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, no, you're on it, Commissioner Mackins. You should have received this. It looks like, anyways, you should have received it. We'll have to test it next time to see why you're not getting it.
Thank you, Danette. I didn't receive it that I see, but
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah, we'll test it next week before we send it out to make sure it's getting all emails.
Commissioner Fisher, I seen your lips moving, but I didn't hear you. Your lips are still moving. That's all I can see.
There he goes. He's off now.
I can't hear him.
Mm-mm.
I think nobody can hear you, Jim.
Commissioner Fisher, is your microphone enabled on your computer in your settings?
Jason, are you hosting?
Jim, here it's still showing that you're muted. There you go. But now we can't hear you. So. Anyways, I see Commissioner Frederickson's signed in also. Commissioner Frederickson, is there anything that you'd like to add to the meeting?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Commissioner Sorch.
Okay.
I think IT is working with Commissioner Fisher to get him to call in, possibly, is what she said.
Jeanette, on these meetings, do we have to sign off of this meeting and log back in? Or can we just stay on this one?
You have to log out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably best to get it over a little bit early then.
Or we can see if he can call in. He's talking to IT right now, I think.
Okay.
He's stuck. Let's ask him. Commissioner Fisher, do you have a headset? It should have been in your bag. No?
You were given one at the beginning.
So
What did you do with your headset?
what else can you? He'll just have
Does
to
he-
log out for the next.
Does he have a,
I don't know.
I didn't get a bag, Danette.
What was that?
I didn't get a bag or a headset. If Commissioner Fisher did.
We're gonna have to get you all some new headsets.
they may be down, let me ask
I
Barb.
want a bag.
Barb might have it all.
Barb might have it all, because y'all got, yeah, Ethernet cables and. headset.
I'm
You're
There's-
okay?
There's nothing in the bags, just the computers and the charger.
Not the new ones,
The old one.
the old commissioners,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know. why.
Don't feel bad.
So
I never got one either.
Commissioner Sorts, you're running out of time and we had budget transfers. So I don't know if there's questions on budget transfers.
Oh, yes. Okay, did anybody have any, I don't have these in front of me, but but there were some budget transfers. Did anybody have any questions about the budget transfers? No? Okay, well, okay, let's see. I'm looking at my other, I don't have these in front of me, the budget transfers.
Do you want me to walk through them?
What's that?
Do you want me to walk through them quickly?
Yeah, please. Please, Danette.
Okay. There was a $35 transfer in code enforcement just between their printing and duplicating and their operating supply budget. It was additional costs for some iPad cases that they bought. That's signed by Lori Casey as the director. Then there was one in the weed control department for $2,850, and it was a transfer between a decrease in their machinery and equipment and an increase in what we call non-capital fixed assets account for $2,850. That's what happens there is an item's not, it's considered a non-capital fixed asset if it's over $500 but less than $4,999. If it's over $4,999, then it's a $940. So this is just a classification entry for replacement of a flatbed box on a weed truck. And then in the health department, they just reclassified their revenue to the correct account number. And in the landfill, we added $4,972 to the non-capital fixed assets, reclassifying the cost from the 940 machinery and equipment. So it's just a transfer. It was for a golf ball machine for Copper Mountain Park that was part of the fiscal year 21 budget. And in the transit, they moved some funds around to cover overtime. As a result of COVID, they had additional call outs for the paratransit system for coverage. And then in the stormwater, they did some additional work out in the Greeley area. We had received some funding, a CDBG grant for stormwater work out there. And then we opted to do some alternates that were in the bid ourselves. During that construction process, we added, so the contractor did a couple different alternates in the bid, and then Butte-Silver did a little bit extra work while we had crews and whatnot being done out there in the Greeley area. And that total transfer was for $35,000, and it was among the salaries, the longevity pay, the hazard pay, their employee contributions, and then it came out of repair and maintenance supplies. In the water company, there was a $483 transfer up into their clothing allowance. So they had received clothing allowance in their union contracts for the laborers. And I think this is a new, if I remember right, I think this is a new employee that we originally didn't have clothing allowance budgeted on. In the distribution system improvements, this is also underneath the water division. We had to add $95 to cover some costs for operations. When we were doing the work out there, we did some damage on some sod to somebody's yard, so we had to replace a little piece of sod for $95. And then in the Silver Lake water system, they moved $5,000 to overtime wages that was needed to clear up the, we had to have men out there clearing up the upper pond and installing new pumps at the Silver Lake, or rebuilt pumps actually. And then in the Civic Center, as a result of COVID, some of the concert tickets have been dispersed back. And so there was convenience fees. There's always transaction fees when you use a credit card. And a portion of those fees we rebated back and put in as losses, and we'll hope to recover those losses underneath some CARES Act funding. That was $900, so far it was $961 that we refunded back. And then in the council budget, we did a transfer last time. You would have seen a transfer that to purchase the new laptops and supplies for the new commissioners. And this $100 was some additional power supplies that weren't originally purchased. And that's it.
Okay. Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you, Chairman Sorge. This time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the expenditure list Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, in the amount of $598,157.41.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a date and second to that we reviewed the expenditure list for $598,157.41. Is there anything out of question? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. And those against say nay. Okay, looks like the ayes have it. Well, I think that's about the only thing that we have on our agenda for tonight. So, Annette, thank you.
Thank you.
It's actually, like I said, I haven't sat in one of these meetings in 4 years.
You bailed on me.
I did. So anyways, guys, we'll sign off here and I'll be getting on the other one. Thank you.
Thank you.